Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Marcus Conti reporting. How are you? How are you? Whoa. Wow. Weather's all over the place today. Weather in America is all over the place today. Some people reporting freezing cold in their neck of the woods. My neck of the woods, it's raining. It's raining here in northeast Pennsylvania. And so it's November 11. November 11 in the year 2022. And what's going on? Looks like I don't know. I was thumbing through on this Friday. I was looking for the big story, and it looks like the only real story is I don't know. There's other stories. Trump's still taking a beating for his endorsements that all went south. Republicans now blaming Trump for setting the Republican Party back. That's ironic because Trump, in many respects, saved the Republican Party in 2016. He revived it and gave them a platform, but now they're bashing the shit out of him. But bigger than that is Joe Biden. Joe Biden making news, not voluntarily, but the student loan forgiveness program that Joe Biden had put out to forgive $10,000 across the board in student debt, student loans that students had taken, and $20,000 if you were a poor person getting TAP or Pell Grants, has gotten squashed, has gotten stopped by a Texas judge deeming it unconstitutional. It's now the Republicans are arguing in the state of Texas, judges are, that student loan forgiveness, where you forgive a student for having too much debt and paying ridiculous prices for student for education, is now deemed unconstitutional. So that doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna. I'm a fan of it. I think that, look, you bail out banks, you bail out Wall Street, you bail out large corporations, you send $500 million to the Ukraine in the form of guns and bombs, but you can't bail out $500 million. You can't half a whatever trillion, a couple of $100 billion. You can't cut a couple of $100 billion, and not even cut, but just stop asking for it. Student debt, where students, poor students. Hey, look, the thing about student debt, firstly, is that back in 2001, student debt was placed on a list of unexpungible debt, meaning that bankruptcy couldn't protect you. Right? And that's fucked up. Right? Any other kind of debt, you could borrow, $10 million from a bank and declare bankruptcy and have that money squashed. But if you have $20,000 in student loans, no way. They're going to chase you and follow you to the grave. It's that right there is unconstitutional. Somebody should, say right there, that removing student loans, because for me, I still have student loan and a student loan, and it wouldn't be there because I went bankrupt in three O's. Right? In 2000, I filed bankruptcy, squashed all kinds of debt from the go-go 90s, and but not the student loan. No, no, no. That, my friend, will follow you to the grave. So it looks like the Biden administration, the play is going to be rather simple. Although a Texas judge, now remember who you're dealing with. You're dealing with the Biden administration, the dirty Democrats. Even though a Republican judge in the great state of Texas has ruled that it's unconstitutional, so he stopped the loan forgiveness program nationwide. What'll happen now on appeal is that some liberal judge somewhere in New York, California, or Connecticut, or Washington, Washington D.C. will overrule that and deem it constitutional, and then it goes to the Supremes. The Supreme Court is very, very likely to have to decide, is student loan forgiveness at the executive level unconstitutional? I don't understand. How is if it's deemed that student loan forgiveness is unconstitutional, isn't it unconstitutional to give, $500 billion to banks that don't need it, to bail them out? So a fascinating story. This is how we go, and this is how we fly in America. Also, Wall Street. We'll look at the Dow. Stocks are going up. It looks like the market is Wall Street is enjoying, really enjoying. Look at the numbers from yesterday. The Nasdaq was up 7.5% in one day. Remember earlier yesterday morning when it was up 4 or 5, I said it was probably going to go to 10. It made it to 7.5, and it looks like we'll get the other 2.5% today. Stocks like Apple up 12, Amazon was up 10, Google up 6, Microsoft up 18, Tesla up 13, Nvidia, all the tech stocks way up 19. So massive rally yesterday on Wall Street. What was up 20? Something was up 20. What was it 20? 20? Can I get a 20? Netflix was up 8%, 20. Wow. And that was all on the CPI report that inflation ticked down slightly. But it's also Wall Street looking for a reason to buy. Wall Street needs to buy. They need to get in there and buy, or else, right? And that's just the reality of Wall Street. It's a buy side. They make money on the way down, shorting stocks, but they make more money on the way up. Warm mint tea on a rainy day. I was raking leaves yesterday. My legs hurt. My legs and my arms hurt from raking a lot of leaves, raking and then bagging leaves. I was raking and bagging yesterday. That's what you do here in the suburbs when you got a lawn and you got trees on the lawn. You got to, and the lawn, the trees overhang the sidewalk, so you got to rake that shit off the sidewalk, man. Well, you got to pay some Ecuadorians to do it. I like to do it myself, man, and I'm poor, so I do it myself. I do it myself anyway. So no student loan for you. My name is Marcus Conti. I have a website, and here it is. It's marcusconti.com. And we're live every morning at 9 a.m., and we will continue to be for a while. This is number 82 of 100 live shows here on YouTube, and many of them got censored already. We've been banned twice in 100 shows already. Actually, 3 times or 4 times on 2 different channels for cyberbully. This is what cyberbullying looks like in the modern age. When someone speaks the truth or someone has an opinion, that's considered cyberbullying. Because my opinion somehow hurts somebody else somewhere, or that's just a smokescreen for the hubba that goes on in our country. The humma. So I have this website all the way down. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, there's a tip jar. If you feel generous, you can give through the tip jar or through Patreon on an ongoing basis. So let's start here. Madonna, 64-year-old Madonna, former sex symbol, still making sexually graphic stuff. Not sexually graphic, but video with overtures of sexuality. Now, I would say Madonna has had literally 4 or 5 or 10 facelifts. Her face is smoother than a fat baby's ass. Look how smooth her face is. That is not the face, neck, or chin, or eyes of a 64-year-old woman. Now, look, I'm not bashing age. I'm just pointing out the elephant in the room, that Madonna, rather than age gracefully and become something different, like use your actual talent and not your money to buy a facelift. I don't know. It's just shocking. So she put out this video that we'll watch right now. You want to watch the video? So here we are. Here's Madonna, 64-year-old riding her motorcycle in her what appears to be a garage. She's now in her pantry with her high heels on and her 64-year-old ass. She's jamming hot sauce up her, what? And now the big news, she's licking water out of a doggy bowl. Lick, lick, lick. Look how defiant I am, laying on my floor in my $1 million home. I don't know what to make of it. I don't know what you make of it. Is that really her motorcycle, or is it just... that's a nice painting. I think that looks like a Liechtenstein, maybe. Madonna's got some cash, Madonna's got some cash. I don't know. This is... Does anybody want to see this anymore? Is she the material girl? Like a virgin, for the very first time, like a virgin. Or she ain't no virgin, man, because there's a long list of mother effers that have been there and done that and had that. But yeah, so there she is. The great Madonna, the great artist formerly known as Madonna. She wants you to see her ass. Why don't you take it off, Madonna? Why don't you take it all off like Britney? At least Britney's got nothing hiding. That's a padded ass. See, that's a fake black ass. She wants everybody to see a big fat black ass. I don't know why I'm hopping on Madonna right now, but I don't know. I don't want to look at her as, oh, she's attractive for 64. No, because that's not whatever attracted me to, she's got a New York Yankees NY in diamonds, and the diamonds are real. I never saw Madonna as a sex symbol. I saw her as someone who wrote great songs. And here she is. That's 64 years old. She looks like a teenager. She's a 64-year-old teenager. Look how sexy I am. Look how sexy I am. I don't care that you're 45 years younger than me. Right? She looks weird and strange, and sometimes her face is round, and it's all fucking mask. It's mask. Right? It's pulled so tight. So, good job, Madonna. So Trump is out there bashing. Oh my God, it's almost the 2024 election again. Now we get 2 years of dirty Democrats and dirty Republicans jockeying, killing one another. All right? The bloodbath. DeSantis right now is not fighting back, but Trump demands average. He's got a name for DeSantis now. He's calling Ron DeSantis, the great governor from the state of Florida, calling him average. Average DeSantis duck 2024 run in post-midterm tantrum. So Trump is going after the front runner, Ron DeSantis, and trying to smear him, trying to hang a label on him. He called him Ron D. Sanctimonious. Ron D. Sanctimonious, says Trump. The Post accurately or really funny called Trump. I think this name is going to stick. Trumpty Dumpty. That's tough, man. That's a tough name. Trumpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Trumpty Dumpty had a great fall. So former President Trump broke cover Thursday evening and insisted that Florida Governor Ron DeSantis rule himself out of the race for 2024 GOP presidential nomination, describing his potential rival as an average Republican governor with great public relations. Now, I say this. I said it 3 days in a row already, that let Trump and DeSantis bloody each other up in a primary and then get a woman, sneak in a young Republican woman, and run her for the presidency, and you'll win. Right? Young women, right? Not Stacey Abrams, not fat black Stacey Abrams, fucking flippity floppity flop flop. Go with Sarah Huckabee Sanders or somebody like that, and not Tulsi Gabbard either. Tulsi Gabbard's a losing ticket. Tulsi Gabbard is, one day she's extreme left, next day she's extreme right. You don't know what you're getting with Tulsi Gabbard. She voted against the anti-BDS laws. She voted for bombing Iraq in the early part of the century. In the early, during the Bush administration. She didn't vote for it. She was too young. She actually got on a plane with a gun as a soldier and went over there and shot at Iraqis. How many Iraqis did you kill, or are you responsible for killing, Tulsi? Quite a number, I bet. So Trumpty Dumpty was on the front page Thursday. So anyway, I just wanted to point out quickly that Trump is now going after Ron. Who's got the faker tan? Right? Look, Trump is being blamed for losing his Senate seat. He's being blamed for losing the Pennsylvania Senate seat, where Oz lost to a unconscious guy, John Fetterman, or a stroke guy. When that seat should have remained in the Republican camp. So Trump's being blamed for that one. He's being blamed for Herschel Walker not getting over the goal, getting over the 100-yard the 50-yard line, right? And having to do a runoff. Well, that's all I wanted to say there is that Trump, here we go, man. We're going into election season already. Election season. It's election season. So it does look like, in fact, the House, I don't see how the House goes in favor of the Democrats at this point. Republicans now have 211 seats. You need 218. They're 7 away, whereas the Dirty Democrats are 20 away from a win. So I would say, mostly that it's safe to say at this point that the House is going to go the way of the Republicans. There's too many of them winning. I don't know why they're not calling these races. Why are they holding on to all these votes? It doesn't make sense. See, this is where the shenanigans happen. It doesn't happen early on. It doesn't happen on election day. It happens now, where each party gets 50 lawyers each, and they try to screw the other one out of the win in different states. Oh, you broke this rule. Oh, you didn't follow that rule. We're going to take it away from you, right? And on and on and on. So, but the math is clearly in favor of the the Republicans taking firmly the House, and in the Senate, we're still in the same place. Still in the same place. The three that matter. What is this? My elections. What is this? Senate results. Give it to me. Give it to me. Yeah, so states that will decide the Senate is right here. Again, it's the same. It's Nevada. Both candidates didn't get over the 50-yard line. And in Georgia, the runoff that's going to happen between Herschel Walker and Warnock. So same old. Looks like, again, Congress, the House is going to stay with, is going to flip to Republican, and Senate is still up for grabs. It looks like, I say it goes Republican. I don't know why they're saying it goes Democrat. The math is in favor of the Republicans, mostly because Walker, in my view, is going to get a lot of Oliver's vote. And I just think Walker's more appealing than Oliver in the final analysis. So anyway, so this is the big story. And then we're going to open up the video chat. If you want to come on and chat, I know Weevil Girl is here today. Maybe we'll do a little meditation. I saw Jim Gerard earlier. Anybody's welcome. I'll drop the link again. It's fairly easy. So this is the link to the live chat. All you got to do is hit on the link. Any one of the three I just posted. And it takes you into the Google Meet. You don't need any software or anything. You just need to click on the link. And it'll bring you into Google Meet. And then you shut your YouTube off or just mute it, because you're 20 seconds in the future when you join me. And then you can have that conversation and you're on the show, right? Just don't be a dick, and we'll be cool. Everybody will be cool, right? And so what else? So here's the big story. Here's the lying fucking whatever she is. So Texas judge strikes down Biden's student loan forgiveness plan as unconstitutional. It is now unconstitutional to forgive student loan, says a judge in Florida, in Texas. First 2 years of lame duck gridlock, now this. Late on Thursday, that was last night, a federal judge in Texas ruled that Biden's plan to cancel hundreds of billions of dollars in student loan debt was unlawful and must be vacated, delivering a victory to conservative opponents of the program. What is conservative about? I don't get it. I don't get it. You know, it's conservative to give, $2 trillion in stimulus money to people that didn't really need it. Trillions of dollars to governments fighting wars on behalf of America. Trillions of dollars to big oil over the years, big pharma. That's conservative. But letting a couple of young people off the hook for student loans that some of them are 20 and 30 years old, that's liberal. Stupid. So here's the deal. District Judge Mark Pittman, an appointee of Donald Trump in Fort Worth, Texas, ruled in a lawsuit backed by Job Creators Network Foundation on behalf of two borrowers. So Pittman, in a 26-page ruling, wrote that the HEROES Act, a law that provides loan assistance to military personnel, and that was relied upon by Biden administration to enact the relief plan, did not authorize the $400 billion student loan forgiveness program. The program, he says, is thus an unconstitutional exercise of Congress's legislative power and must be vacated. Holy smokes. What's Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren and AOC going to do now? This student loan forgiveness was a very, very big victory for the Biden administration. It really was. You know, the Democrats had a win with that, and now Republicans seem to be snatching it out from under their feet, pulling the rug out from under their feet. So how are they gonna get around this? Biden's debt relief plan was already temporarily blocked in St. Louis, while it considers a request by 6 Republican-led states to enjoin it while they appeal the dismissal of their own lawsuit. So this is going to get real deep and stupid and ugly and very, very legal garbage being thrown at each other. Right? The plan announced in August calls for forgiveness of $10,000 in student loan debt for borrowers making less than $125,000, and $20,000 for lower income borrowers, people that had student debt. Now, of course, as Zero Hedge points out, the Biden administration won't let this aggression against socialism stand. And after it wins on appeal at one of its extremely liberal appeals courts across the country, a final decision will go to the Supremes. Totally agree. So, totally agree. I think that the Biden administration will appeal. Of course, they will, and they'll win. They'll probably win on appeal, at least at one court or so, and then the decision will then go to the Supreme Court rather quickly. Well, maybe not that quickly, but anyway, maybe before 2024. Now that's a big talking point for Democrats to say, "Hey kids, the Republicans don't want you to get any student loan forgiveness." Right? You turn off 25% of the most aggressive. Those are the people that go knock on doors and put yard signs in front of your house. The young people do it. Call on the phone, knock on the door, right? Get people to vote. They're your voter. They're your fucking army. And you tell them, the Republicans were making a little headroom there, right? They were doing okay. They were, doing things that people wanted a little bit more, and they're winning some seats in the House and in the Senate. But this is a big blow, in my view, to the Republican momentum. Poor and working class people, give them a break. Don't worry about the billionaire class. They're going to pay anyway. So that's all I got there. Let's see. So the market is open, and woo, oh boy, a little pullback. Not much. We'll take it. Looks like I would call that flat actually. Dow Jones, the market's only open 3 minutes. Dow is down 11, NASDAQ down 29, and S&P down 25 cents. Not even a percentage, not even 1 point. So nothing to worry about there. Let's see. It's opening right now. Looks like it's stuck right there. Let's see. No, see that? Within the first 2 minutes, the Dow already went green. S&P went green, and now the NASDAQ's about to go green. NASDAQ is down 16, now yesterday it was up 7.5%. So, and the Dow is pushing 33,700. NASDAQ has broken 11,000. Also broke a couple of significant trend lines. All of the indexes are breaking these moving indexes. I'll show you what I mean. It's hard to explain. You got to see it. You got to see it in action. So, and it makes sense. You see how these are moving averages, right? See the moving average? This is the Dow Jones. Yes, daily on the Dow Jones. You see how it tried the 200-day moving average, and then it broke down, and then it went up again, and now it's over the average. Now, you could say this is a reversal and another leg down, but it looks like that's it. Right? Look how long it's come. Look at the let's look at the S&P. S&P also, see, the S&P hasn't quite gotten to the line yet, but it looks like it's breaking the lower line, the 50-day moving average, and it's heading to the 200-day. And once it goes through that, it'll likely keep going, unless there's another bottom in, right? It could bottom out again. Who the hell knows? And finally, the Nasdaq. When you look at the trend lines of the Nasdaq is just barely getting over the 50-day, and it's probably going to head and try to challenge the 200-day, which puts it back right about, still more than halfway down off the top. But if we could break through this green line and get it to keep going, we could call this the bottom right here. Right? Is the bottom in? I don't know. It looks like at this moment you could say there is a bottom and it is in. And we'll keep looking. So Elon Musk, just a Wall Street story, and then I'll open up the chat. Difficult times ahead. Musk says Twitter bankruptcy possible as FTC express deep concern. So there's the great Elon Musk, buys a company for $44 billion. And there's probably all kinds of frivolous debt on the books. And Elon's like, I bought this for $44 billion now, and we owe another $20 billion. How about this? Let's go bankrupt. We're privately held. Nothing's going to change in terms of Twitter's messaging capability. Let's go bankrupt. Everybody on Wall Street already got paid, so they don't care. And let's scrub the debt and start over. We'll call it Twatter instead of Twitter. Maybe he'll change the name. Maybe he'll do something. But a bold move, Elon Musk going for the jugular. He's looking to vacate billions of dollars of Twitter debt and in bankruptcy, which he'll get away with. And then once that's done, he could build the brand again where it's actually making money, and then take it public again and get all his money back, right? Get his $44 billion back. Smart move. So Twitter potentially going bankrupt. It's not going to affect you who post on Twitter, the trolls and the manipulators and the fucking cyber hacks. But it affects, I guess, everybody else. I don't know. I don't know who it really affects, but I think it's a good move for Elon Musk to do it. And there's another article. I don't want to talk about this. I'm out of wind already. We're not permitted anyway to make the connection between vaccines and injury. This particular, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. It's not relevant. So the chat is now open. Live chat is now open. If you want to come on board, click on that link and join us, and we'll have some fun. I didn't see Jules in there. Great guest last week. We had his name was Jules, and we had a good time, man. We had a really good time. What am I doing here? Yeah, so I'll drink tea while you guys come on down. Come on down. This is a hybrid tea, by the way. I feel like I'm losing my voice. I must have been yelling or something. Must have been yelling at the dog next door. I love when there's two of me. When I point this way, I'm pointing at that guy. No, I'm pointing down. My down is up. My up is down. My up is down. Jim and Weevil Girl are here both in the same time. What's up? What's up? What's up? Weevil Girl. What's up, Weevil Girl? How you doing, man?
Hey.
What's up, man? What's up, Jim? Morning, Jim. Rockstar Jim.
Morning, Jim.
What's up?
Good morning, everyone.
How you guys doing today? You doing good?
Oh, what happened here?
What happened? Can you hear me, Jim?
I can hear you.
Oh, cool. All right, we're good.
Camera's just
Yeah, it looks good. We're all
There we go.
we are live. We're live like a mofo. It's coffee time. Coffee time. So yeah, man. So yeah. I guess I don't know. What do you guys want to talk about? The elections were kind of interesting. We thought more red, and it wound up being not so red. Democrats still, arguably in power. What's going on, man?
You guys can hear me, right?
Yeah, yeah. I hear
Yeah,
you.
Wheeler.
Hey, yeah, Wisconsin kind of stayed kind of the same. Our longtime Senator Republican Ron Johnson stayed in office. He had Mandela Barnes, who had been, I think, Secretary of State, a younger guy running against him, but he lost. And then, so we have Ron Johnson again. I don't know how long he's been in office, but it's a long time. And then we have Ivers again for our governor. So, yeah, everybody kind of stayed the same. Our incumbents won. We didn't have any big turnovers.
Right.
We still have a Democratic governor, Republican Senate.
It doesn't have much.
Iowa,
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Iowa stayed pretty much red, right? But
Right.
there was one big upset on, I think, Attorney General. This girl, something Bird, and her ads were "Give them the bird," right? But she ended up winning over the, long reigning Attorney General, Tom Miller, I think, what is his name,
Right.
and so that was a big upset. But otherwise, all the Republicans won.
Was she a Democrat?
No. She was a Republican.
Republican, yeah.
Yeah, going against a long, he was, I don't know, 8 terms as Attorney General.
Well, I love the
Long-serving
slogan.
Attorney General.
I never thought the time would come where I'd actually be rooting for Republicans. I mean, it's just, growing up in New York, it's you're a Democrat. You're a Democrat because that's where the action is. Like the Republicans in city, city elections don't even get mentioned. And it's always been a Democratic hold. So, but that's when liberals were liberals. What that meant was that you were for a lot of things. You were for, freedom of choice, freedom of speech, freedom of everything. And now it seems like you got to look to the Republicans for that. I don't know. It's crazy.
I don't know.
It's a crazy world we live in.
I was raised really by an extremely liberal family who's still extremely liberal. And in fact, my dad has told me if you only do one thing, vote Democrat your entire life, it will have been a life well lived.
I
Just
think I've
that
heard.
one act. That's all you need to do. So, yeah.
Yeah, nothing really changes. Nothing really changed in the politics, right? What's changed?
I had to dim exit though after all the cheating and rigging.
Yeah.
I don't consider myself a liberal or a Democrat.
Fortification. It's fortification. They hold their ground. It's not cheating.
Oh yeah, maintenance.
Maintenance. I agree. I mean, 2016, I think, was the turning point for a lot of people. I think, that was it. Right? And it's a different party now. It's a different world there. And anyway, so you want to take us through some meditation? Yeah, man.
Let's do it. Right.
I won't play. I'll stop playing.
And I'm not into numerology, but I think the fact that it's 11, 11, 22 is probably some kind of significant numerology, but I don't know anything about that.
All ones, right? 1111.
And then
2222. Oh yeah.
But 1111 is supposed to be a master number. I know that just from Facebook or I don't know.
It adds up. It all adds up to a 10, and then the numerology for the whole thing is 1.
Oh.
Right. 1, 2, 3, 4 plus 6 is 10. 1 plus 0. When you add all the numbers and get one digit, it's. Isn't that how numerologists figure it out? They sum up the whole string of numbers to get to one number. So it makes it a 1.
They reduce them, yeah, or something. I don't know how they do it. Well, anyway, let's try to get a little more comfortable and maybe imagine a string from the top of our heads pulling us tight and straight all the way up our spine. And begin to breathe deeply in through your nose, out through your mouth. Invite yourself to relax and let go of any thoughts. As we focus only on our breath.
Love the jingle bells.
Yeah.
Jingle bells.
That was great, Weevil.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Mindfulness.
Yeah. Stopping and being silent is great. I don't even do anything. We just invite people to do nothing.
Well, why not institute it in elementary schools where you just 5 minutes. It doesn't. I mean, asking someone to sit for 20 minutes is, that's asking a little too much. But if you ask someone, if you do like 5 minute moments of silence, and you'll notice that's where everybody will get up and check their phone, and suddenly they need to do something. Oh, I got an extra 5 minutes, and they jump out of the chair. I've seen that in action, but 5 minutes, a 5 minute pause would be interesting, to just observe the parade of thoughts. It always happens. I mean, anybody who doubts it, just sit quietly, follow the breath, and you'll witness a train of thought which you think is normal, right? And it is. It is normal. Thoughts are normal. Thoughts are like you notice that you're breathing. You notice that there's thought. Where does it come from? It's there. Sometimes it's pleasant. Sometimes it isn't. But as long as you're still present, as long as you're still breathing, it's fine. You say, you enjoy your thoughts. You're like, oh, there's a memory of, even if it's a pleasant memory, like a memory I had, I don't know, yesterday or something. I was thinking about Grandpa, wonderful memory of childhood, and my grandfather and I, we used to go fishing, crabbing on the coast of Staten Island, and we get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and get ready and put the crab pots in his old Volkswagen, the old Volkswagen with the trunk in the front and the engine in the back, and load it up, and now it's 5 o'clock, it's still dark. Grandma's making sandwiches, and you're eating a sandwich while you're driving. And as a kid, you're so excited, and you don't even sleep the night before. You're there, and then you get there, and as long as you're present with even pleasant memory like that, you're still aware. You're like, oh, I'm about to go off the cliff of memory, and then you stay there, and then it becomes sorrow. Oh, it was so much better then. Oh, Grandpa, I miss you, and you feel the pain. Right? But really, it's just memory. That's all it is. It's flickering memory, and as you stay with it, just like bad memory, like trauma from childhood. A lot of people were abused, and beat up, and for me, I grew up in a very violent, atmosphere. There was violence, a lot of violence, a lot of gangster shit, but if you whether you stay, you just the point I'm trying to make is that if you stay with it, whatever your whatever the daydream is, it eventually dissolves. You see it like without opinion, without discrimination, without you just and you're still present without any sorrow, without any regret, without any resentment, without any fear. Right? People get caught up in that. They think that meditation is a wiping out of your thought process. It's not. It's it's coexisting with it as it arises without trying to manipulate it. Because ego steps in there and tries to make it its own. Ah, yeah, let's. Oh,
Ego or self.
self. Yeah,
Self.
yeah, that's what they call it, self. The identification with a self, and when you meditate on that, you realize that too is a transient phenomena. This notion of I and others is also not really there. The only thing that's there is consciousness. It's the ability to be aware of it. That's all that seems to be consistent. That we're alive, we're human, right? And we all share that consciousness. The rest of it we make up based
Yeah.
on this flurry of memory. It's hard to grasp, when you talk about it or explain it intellectually, people kind of get it and then they go back to thinking. Until you do it, until you actually realize that there's another operating system that the Buddha and the Buddhists have told us that there is. And I have experienced, and I know many people that do experience it.
Sure.
It's real, and much more workable.
Wouldn't you say that what you're describing with the thoughts and having the memories is like being able to observe that memory in a way?
Yeah.
You're by being mindful, you're not caught up in that memory emotionally
Yeah.
in quite the same way, because you're not. A lot of people, I know I've said this before, but a lot of people self-identify as their thoughts,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
a weird concept. But once you grasp it,
You don't
that
have
the idea,
you don't have any control of the thought. You do karmically, you do by being a liar, a thief, someone that kills, someone that rapes people, and someone that drinks until they're laying down in the fucking gutter. Your thoughts, your thoughts are corroded, are negative. So that rain of thought in the present moment is your karma. But if you start doing esteemable acts, the rain of thought will lighten up and be more desirable or more pleasant. But both lead down the same rabbit hole, right? Not the same rabbit hole. One leads to straight to hell, right? The hell realm. You're miserable all the time. But the other one is also the path of anxiety and sorrow as well, right? You follow what I'm saying? That the thoughts are, you don't have control over it. You observe it as a witness, as you said. Yes.
yeah,
You witness it. You're present.
realizing that it's not you.
It's not you.
It's occurring, and it may be created by you or a symptom of your situation in life.
You know how you could make it even easier to understand? If you were watching if someone was explaining to you their bad thoughts, you would be able to discuss it with them as a third party, as a outside opinion. So
Correct.
that's kind of what you're doing with yourself.
Yeah.
You're viewing the whole experience a step back, and you're viewing it, and there's the safety. There is the
Exactly.
enlightenment where now it's not as disturbing because when you're walking down the street and you're thinking of grandpa on the pier, and you and someone interrupts you and you're like, fuck you, I'm caught in you. That's what happens. People are caught in their thoughts, or they're fighting with someone in their head while they're walking down the street, and then someone crosses them and they're ready to road rage. I'm gonna get the fuck out of my way, man. I gotta get where I gotta go. Right? It's that's responding to your thinking. You're caught in the thinking. But if
Exactly.
if you're mindful, you're never derailed. You're just
And you're getting triggered. That's the popular term, right?
Right.
yes.
You get triggered, and that's why spirituality and mindfulness helps. What once used to trigger you, maybe it was a word, maybe it was a certain insult. When you encounter it, because you no longer are controlled by your thoughts, but you can now just observe your thoughts as kind of like a neutral third party.
Yeah.
And mindfully stand outside of the realm of getting really emotionally wrapped up in every thought that may pass through, just like the weather.
Yeah.
And if one of those thoughts is triggering, then you have to jump into this whole emotional state because that was sensitive for you. Well, the more and more you practice mindfulness, meditation, those things will come up in life just like they always do, and you get less and less attached. You can just observe it. Pretty soon, somebody says something like that to you that would have like maybe thrown you off in your 20s, and then maybe later that day you realize, wow, I didn't even mind. It occurred to me, but it didn't even bother me. I probably would have lost it on them.
Yeah. 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 I couldn't agree more. It's not. There's in sitting, you learn where that space is. Right? It's like a thought is like a spark. It's coming from wherever. It's coming probably from stored in the body somewhere. It's somewhere, right? Whether it's in fat cell, whether it's brain, whether it's mind, backbone, neck, wherever it is, it's there. And then it comes up. Even when you're sitting doing nothing, what's triggering it? Nobody knows. We don't know for sure. It's karma. That's what it is. It's everything that we've done in the last 6 months, year, or maybe our whole lives. Or maybe before that too. Something that you inherited that you didn't even know, like a disease or something. Right? It's all there, and it's inescapable, right? But if you don't dwell on it, you don't go into the emotions. It doesn't become sorrow. It doesn't become anxiety. It doesn't become fear. You're not spinning the same shit over and over again, right? You suffer the same thought for 100 times, right? Worry. Oh my God, what am I going to do? Be mindful, and a decision will. You won't make the decision, but something will happen. It'll happen. You'll have clarity on it. Probably the best thing to do is nothing. That's usually the best way to handle these things, and you get clarity.
That's true.
You just, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I don't know what to do. What am I going to? And you do, and the answer is breathe and relax, and then a week later it blows over, and what did you do? You didn't do anything. It just it passes. You figure it out. I like how that play on words. That's called responsibility. Your ability to respond. That's all you can control. That's all we can control is our responsibility. Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's easy to talk about it. It's fun to talk about. I love to talk about it. But it's something that you gotta work through it. There's different layers of it. You sit, and then this is fun for 5 minutes. Well, then, what happens after 20 minutes? What happens after an hour? What happens after an entire day? And what happens after 10 days? What does the mind start to do? how does it? You think ego is just going to go away? You think that it's very, very powerful, and it's actually not a bad energy. Right? We've made it bad energy. Right? You don't run from it. That's why you invite it in. You invite it in and say, this is it's an energy of some sort, and it doesn't require any energy to view it. It requires energy to follow it and get and grind it out. Right? Right? You use it and say, okay, I'm mindful of body and where is the discomfort in my body? Where is this coming from? Let's find out. Let's be curious and try to find out. And then as you're trying to find out, the thought itself goes away. It's just it could come back. It probably will, but that's the nature of reality. Everything is coming in and dissolving, and if you grab onto it, you die. Right? This notion of self, it's become so reflex. You explain this to people and they say, "Oh, well, you're just explaining human nature." I'm like, "Yeah, I am," but it's not. There's a different operating system that isn't so fucking painful. You don't have to suffer the whole life, right? You don't have to be fucking miserable. You could be this other thing, which is, happy and joyous and curious, right? And maybe you'll land on the piano someday, and you'll be like, "Hey, I didn't know I could." You find out things that you didn't know you can do, like because you're not worried and you're not fearful. Like, you can't play piano because you started too late. You're fucking old, man. You're gonna die. Just that's what mind says, and it's a lie. It's not true. That's what ego wants to do, right? Ego, self, sin.
Yeah. Ego wants to say it's all about me.
Yeah.
It's all about me. So when somebody didn't hold the door open for me at the grocery store and it like slammed in my face, that was personal because it's all about me. Well, really, that lady might have been carrying a baby and thinking about what she's going to make for supper. I mean, when we take people's actions towards us as some kind of reflection of us and some kind of either compliment or assault on our ego, our personal ego, we're just caught up in this mess of self-identifying as the ego, self-identifying as thoughts. Then we think what other people are doing to us is some reflection of their thoughts about us. No, they're caught up in their own ego. What other people are doing has nothing, it's a reflection of them and not us. And that just comes with age, I guess. But it's a hard lesson to learn.
It's how wars start.
Yeah.
That's what's happening at the bargaining table. It's two sick-headed old men banging heads, and then they start a war over, you made me look bad. It's really what it is. Like, you made us look bad, and then they start throwing bombs at each other.
Yeah. I just try to laugh at myself when I find myself insulted. Like, it's really, oh, you thought that was all about you. That's all about you. And like, just laugh at my ego. And like you said, observe it from a distance, not be my ego, but observe my ego being like really insulted that they slammed the door and had no thought of anyone else. But
if you're practicing in the morning, right? If you practice in the daytime and you practice the day before and you're mindful, when that door gets slammed in your face by accident, you're then able, or something, you get bad news, like, somebody, your cat dies or something, and you're able at that moment to step back and be compassionate for the unconscious human in front of you who just slammed the door in your face, right? And be compassionate. Say, you know what? Laugh at it. Look, this is what it is. This is what everybody is running around this stepping on each other sort of thing. I love these conversations. Thank you. I don't. Good conversations hard to find, man. This is good stuff. Oh yeah, man. So anyway, what else? What else we got? Yeah, it's sometimes it's boring. Sometimes it's boredom. The Buddha said when you're practicing, he used the great term that still rings true: not too tight, not too loose. Meaning that if you're sitting and you're trying to be mindful over a period of time, and you find yourself maybe nodding off, you're bored. You're like sleepy. You're not interested in what you're doing, as opposed to being like electrified and stiff like a statue, and then you make yourself crazy doing that. That's too tight. But you said right in the middle, you relax into the whole experience. Even when it's crazy, that's the moment where you breathe and now, this notion of, you got to be compassionate for all beings and let's loving kindness. No, that is the loving kindness. When you dissolve your own suffering, when you put enough space into your head to not, jump out of the car and kill the guy in front of you for cutting you off, you are doing an enormous service to the world by doing that. If everybody did that, now you have an enlightened society. You have a place where there's a lot less suffering. Maybe not, you maybe not wipe it out. As you said the last time, that the Buddha still suffered right to the end. Yeah. Well, it's inescapable. You have to eat. You have to. Everything is at the expense of something else. If I eat something, well, I took even if it's vegetable, I took the food that a worm was going to eat. And I got in front of the worm because I wanted to eat it first. Everywhere along the line, there's holes in this idea.
I know. Some people are rescuing insects that get in their house.
Yeah, I do.
And that's where I draw the line. If they come in my house, they're not going to be rescued, except maybe by my kids. You better hope my kids find you and not me.
I let them out. I give the flies a chance to fly out the door. If I see, I don't kill spiders. No. I let spiders be. I used to kill roaches in the city because there were too many of them. But bugs outside, I make sure I don't step on the ants. I feed the ants.
Yeah. I won't intentionally harm anything outside, but when they get in my house, when I got ant issues, no.
Yeah. Yeah, that's well, like I was growing tobacco and I had this there's this one green bug. It's a caterpillar. And they say that the hummingbird, you love the hummingbird. The hummingbird comes over and he eats the flower, but then the hummingbird shits out spores that gives birth to this green fucking caterpillar that will eat your whole plant unless you stop it. I mean, that's either kill or be killed, right? That you see the hole, that he's there. And then you start looking, and the bigger the hole, the bigger the caterpillar. They get bigger and bigger until you find them, and then you get the long-nosed pliers and you pluck them out of there. And
wow,
you got to get rid of it.
I've never heard of that. Wow,
it's unique to tobacco plants. I only saw it. I saw it on a YouTube video, and I was like, "What is this thing?" And they will eat the whole plant. They just get bigger and bigger. They'll get like this big, like a giant slug.
It's like a grub.
Yeah, like a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
It's like a fucking, like
you eat the roots of
weed
grass. Right.
It's like a potato bug, but for tobacco. It specifically loves the tobacco, huh?
Yeah, that cricket. That that one bug, green. It's a green, whatever it is. But you see it when you see it, you know it. You're like, oh, there he is. And then
what you were talking about reminded me of this thing I've heard. I can't remember where, but it was about two Buddhist monks.
Yeah.
And like you were saying, to find the middle way, you don't want to go too far in any one direction, right, even with their conversation. So when they would have their conversations and they'd be having like coffee or their tea, I guess, probably their tea, then one would say the tea is very hot today. And the other would say, the tea is cold.
Mm-hmm.
And they would just kind of say the opposite of what each
to bring it to the
says.
middle. Interesting.
Yes. So that it would sit in the middle and even their conversation wouldn't go too far one direction.
Like a seesaw.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I
That's a good
tease
analogy.
Kelly that we should talk like that back and forth. And she's like, no.
Well, you know what? Even like when you have a difficult person on the phone and they're in the process of character assassinating someone you know.
Yes.
You just let it. You don't even engage. Don't, because if you push back on it, now you're inflaming it. Just let it hang out there. Don't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
Let the sentence just flop, and then talk about something pleasant. Just change
the subject.
Just move on while they're doing it. Right? Just silence. Because someone needs that. They need you to. They're looking for you to fuel it. And now you're both doing it. You're both bashing someone that's not even in the room. Right?
Yeah.
It's easy to do, especially in politics. Right? That's what they're all doing, right? All right,
I think
guys.
politicians are fair game, though.
Yeah, they are.
I think it's okay if we want to bash them a little. They
you sign up for it, right? Celebrity, you sign up for it. If you want to be a politician, and that's the toll. That's the toll you pay. All right, guys. Good talking to you, man. Good talking to you, Weevil Girl. Keep going, man. Keep going. Keep doing what you're doing. It's good stuff. And Jim, as well, man. Jim's gonna be the meditator too. He's gonna.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that.
He's growing his hair out. I like how you're growing your hair out, Jim. It's
let it go, man.
looking longer and better.
I wish I could grow some
That's
teeth.
what it looks like.
I wish I could grow some teeth. Well, how come teeth don't grow back?
If you were what? I mean, do sharks grow them back or certain animals?
See, that's what it looks like.
Oh,
if I had teeth, that's what it looks like.
Well, have a great Friday, everybody in the chat.
All right, you all have a great weekend.
See you guys. Till next time, man. Till next time. See you Monday. Have a great weekend. Peace. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Oh man, what a great time, man. What a great time we're having in this life, man. We are having an amazing life together.